Welcome to AeroPulse, I'm CCVDG. And today we're not just looking at planes, we're looking at what happens when pilots push them to their absolute limits. Buckle up as we dive into the top 8 mind-blowing jet maneuvers ever. These aren't just fancy tricks. These gravity-defying stunts showcase the pinnacle of piloting skill, aerodynamic understanding, and sheer engineering marvels. You've probably seen clips of these, perhaps in movies or air shows, and wondered, how is that even possible? Well, today we're going to answer that. From maneuvers designed for the deadly ballet of dogfights to those that simply steal the show at aviation displays, we'll break down what makes these maneuvers so incredible, and how pilots with nerves of steel and years of training pull them off, sometimes making it look almost effortless. It's a world where physics is bent, G-forces are a constant companion, and the aircraft becomes an extension of the pilot's will. So, if you're fascinated by the cutting edge of aviation, the skill of elite pilots, or just love seeing incredibly powerful machines do seemingly impossible things, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because you won't want to miss this. Let's soar into the action and explore these incredible feats of aerial artistry and engineering. Right, let's start with a maneuver that looks utterly impossible, the Pugachev's Cobra, or simply the Cobra Maneuver. Picture this, a jet is flying along, straight and level, and then in an instant its nose pitches up dramatically, sometimes beyond 90 degrees. The aircraft momentarily takes on the posture of a striking cobra, hence the name, all while maintaining its original direction of flight. It's not stalling in the traditional sense. It's a controlled, dynamic deceleration. The key lies in a combination of factors: specific aerodynamic properties of certain aircraft, powerful engines, and incredibly precise pilot input. The maneuver relies on the aircraft's ability to maintain lift and control at extremely high angles of attack. The pilot initiates the Cobra by disengaging the angle of attack limiter and then sharply pulling back on the control stick. The engines are often at full power, providing the thrust necessary to help control the attitude and prevent a complete stall. In a combat scenario, the Cobra could theoretically be used to force a pursuing enemy aircraft to overshoot, allowing the pilot performing the Cobra to gain a tactical advantage. Performing the Cobra requires immense skill and a deep understanding of the aircraft's capabilities and limitations. It's a brief, violent ballet against the forces of nature, executed with precision and power. Next up, we have a maneuver that's perhaps one of the most widely recognized, the barrel roll. Unlike some of the more aggressive stunts we'll cover, the barrel roll is often seen as a more graceful, almost balletic movement. But don't let its elegance fool you. Performing a perfect barrel roll, especially in a high-performance jet, requires a great deal of precision and coordination. So, what exactly is a barrel roll? Imagine a corkscrew path traced through the sky, or think of the aircraft flying around the inside of a giant invisible barrel lying on its side. The aircraft completes a 360-degree roll, but unlike an aileron roll where the aircraft rotates around its longitudinal axis while maintaining a straight flight path in a barrel roll, the aircraft also follows a helical path relative to its original direction of travel. The execution involves coordinated input of all primary flight controls: ailerons for roll, elevator for pitch, and rudder for yaw. The goal is to maintain a relatively constant positive G-force throughout the maneuver, typically around 1 G or slightly more. One of the fascinating things about the barrel roll is its versatility. It can be performed in almost any aircraft, from a light general aviation plane to a massive bomber. In the context of jet fighters, it can be a defensive maneuver, used to spoil an enemy's aim or to gain a better view of the surrounding airspace. It's a foundational skill that opens the door to more complex aerobatics and combat maneuvers, a true classic of the skies. Now let's take things up a notch with a maneuver called the Kulbit. It's a post-stall maneuver where the aircraft performs an extremely tight loop, essentially flipping end over end. This is achieved by leveraging advanced aerodynamics, powerful engines often equipped with thrust vectoring control, TVC, and sophisticated flight control systems. The Kulbit is a signature move of certain highly agile Russian fighter jets, like the Sukhoi Su-30, Su-35, and Su-37. Thrust vectoring allows the pilot to change the direction of the engine's thrust, providing control moments even when traditional aerodynamic surfaces have lost effectiveness. By performing a Kulbit, a pilot could rapidly change their aircraft's heading and velocity vector, potentially evading an enemy missile or quickly positioning their own weapons onto a target. However, the risks are substantial. Performing a Kulbit means putting the aircraft into a state where conventional aerodynamic controls are largely ineffective. The Kulbit isn't just a display of raw power, it's a showcase of an aircraft's ability to operate far beyond the normal flight envelope. It's a maneuver that blurs the line between controlled flight and a controlled tumble, demonstrating a level of agility that was once thought impossible for fixed-wing aircraft. Let's move on to a maneuver that is less about visually dramatic tumbles and more about the raw, sustained forces involved, the high G turn. This is a fundamental combat maneuver, but high G is an understatement. We're talking about turns where the pilot and the aircraft are subjected to gravitational forces many times that of normal Earth gravity. When an aircraft pulls, say, 9 Gs in a turn, the pilot effectively weighs 9 times their normal body weight. This is physically punishing and requires specialized training and equipment to endure. Pilots use it to gain a positional advantage in a dogfight, to outturn an opponent, or to evade an incoming threat. So the high G turn is a brutal, demanding yet absolutely essential maneuver in the world of air combat. Now for a maneuver that's a classic for rapidly reversing course and trading altitude for speed, the Split-S. If you need to turn 180 degrees and dive away, perhaps to escape a threat or to reposition for an attack from a lower altitude, the Split-S is often the go-to move. It's essentially a half roll followed by a half loop downwards. Imagine you're flying straight and level. To initiate a Split-S, the pilot first rolls the aircraft 180 degrees, so they are flying inverted, upside down. Then they pull back on the control stick, causing the aircraft to dive and perform the bottom half of a loop. As the aircraft completes this half loop, it will be flying straight and level again, but in the opposite direction to its original course and at a significantly lower altitude. The primary advantage of the Split-S is its speed and efficiency in reversing direction while also gaining airspeed in the dive. This can be crucial if you're caught in a disadvantageous position, perhaps with an enemy on your tail at a similar or higher altitude. By performing a Split-S, you can quickly dive away, making yourself a harder target, and potentially forcing the pursuer into a dive where you might have an energy advantage at the bottom. However, there's a very important consideration: altitude. Because the Split-S involves a dive, you need enough clear air beneath you to complete the pullout. A simple concept, but one that requires respect for the laws of physics and the aircraft's performance envelope to execute safely and effectively. Let's look at another classic reversal maneuver, the Immelman Turn. Named after the World War I German ace Max Immelmann, this maneuver allows a pilot to reverse direction while gaining altitude. It's a half loop upwards, followed by a half roll at the top. The result? The aircraft is now flying straight and level in the opposite direction, but at a higher altitude. Now we venture into the realm of advanced post-stall maneuvering with the Herbst Maneuver, also known as the J-turn. This maneuver showcases the capabilities of modern fighter aircraft with thrust vectoring. It allows an aircraft to rapidly reverse direction in an incredibly tight space by entering a controlled stall. The nose swings around dramatically, almost pivoting in place, then the pilot recovers, flying off in the opposite direction. Technologies like thrust vectoring control, TVC, are key. A well-executed Herbst maneuver lets you whip around and face your attacker almost instantaneously. Let's look at a maneuver about controlled instability and recovery, the falling leaf. This maneuver mimics a leaf gently rocking as it falls from a tree. It involves alternating controlled stalls and yaws, causing a side-to-side swaying descent. The pilot reduces power, bringing the aircraft to the edge of a stall. Using rudder and aileron inputs, they induce a controlled yaw. This creates a rhythmic side-to-side oscillation as the aircraft loses altitude. The falling leaf is a stall, spin, awareness, and recovery training maneuver. The pilot makes constant, precise inputs to maintain the controlled descent. And there you have it, the top 8 mind-blowing jet maneuvers ever. From the aggressive, physics-defying Cobra and Kulbit, to the classic elegance of the barrel roll and Immelman and the controlled instability of the falling leaf, these moves truly prove that fighter pilots, and indeed all skilled aviators, are the ultimate daredevils and masters of the sky. Each maneuver tells a story of engineering prowess, aerodynamic understanding, and incredible human skill. These aren't just random movements, they are calculated actions, performed at the very edge of what's possible, often under immense pressure and G-forces. Whether for combat advantage, airshow spectacle, or fundamental flight training, these maneuvers push both aircraft and pilot to their limits. It's a constant evolution, with new technologies like thrust vectoring continuing to redefine what an aircraft can do. So, which maneuver blew your mind the most? Was it the sheer audacity of the Kulbit, the G-force endurance of the high G-turn, or the graceful precision of the Immelman? Drop it in the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this journey through the world of extreme aviation, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to AeroPulse for more aviation action. See you in the skies.